Hello and welcome to Talking TSM, the Game House's talk show about TSM's LCS team. I am Robert Haynes, and I will be your host, your guide into the world of TSM. Again, this show is sponsored by no one yet, so if you know somebody or if your company wants to sponsor the show, please reach out to business@thegamehouse.com. Thank you. Couple quick announcements. I am feeling better. I'm still a tiny bit stuffy, but in all reality, I'm feeling a lot better. Last week was rough, right before Christmas. I was really worried I had COVID and everything, and then I never really got the symptoms of COVID pretty much at all. I just pretty much had a stuffy nose and didn't feel great, but no fever, none of that stuff, no cough. So it's kind of, relieving, but still make sure, fam, to take it safe out there. Please be safe. Please take care of yourselves. But, the next announcement is we will more than likely have a fan guest spot next episode. And then the episode after that will actually be the one that we're into this season. Like the lock-in tournament will begin on January 15th. So we have this one, then we have one on the 6th, then one on the 14th, and we will be diving deep into everything, for the season and whatnot. That will be a long episode. I would love to have some people on to talk about it and whatnot, but really, really, really excited about that one. So we're only 2 episodes away from our first preview show, so pretty excited. And the last announcement, and arguably the coolest one yet, is we have a new logo. We have a new thumbnail created by Aaron, user at, let me make sure I get this correct, Aruwon, Aarwuon. Go follow him on Twitter. He does some pretty cool artwork, and he decided to make a brand new Talking TSM logo. So thank you so much, Aaron. Seriously. When I created all this stuff, this madness for the show, I never anticipated people would like it enough to just go out and create a thumbnail/logo. So, I mean, seriously, I was shocked when I saw this, and it absolutely made my day. So thank you so much. Go follow him again on Twitter. It's at Aruwon. I believe that's correct. Aarwuon. Go give him a follow. This one will be a little bit of a shorter one just because, there's not a whole lot to talk about, but we're going to start with the most important news. Happy New Year. Whether it's already January 1st, 2021 for you, or if it's going to be by the time you listen to this, then Happy New Year, guys. We've made it through 2020 so far. we still have, at least for me, I still have 13 hours or something until the breaking of what has honestly been one of the weirdest, actually probably the weirdest year of my entire lifetime. I am 28, and I can tell you that this has been the strangest year, and that's saying a lot. I've lived through, the Iraq wars, and 9/11 was obviously just awful and strange in itself for a kid to grow up in. I was lucky enough to live in the 90s when things were seemingly always Gucci and fun and whatever words you want to use for it. I don't know. But we got a review this year. And I wanted to take a few minutes to talk about kind of the start of the year and talk about real quickly, because the show wasn't on when I had initially done my review of TSM. And last season, I was really excited for the TSM roster. it consisted of Broken Blade, Dardoch, Bjergsen, Kabe, and Biofrost. And when I was coming into the season, I was like, okay, like 4 of these 5 players are solid. I'm really happy. Like Biofrost always seems to play better when he is with TSM. He proved that this year, I think, in most regards. I was really excited for Kabe to come over. I had been thinking, okay, they need a new AD carry with Sven leaving. Kabe would be the perfect person. Like, when the season started, actually, when the season ended, I was sitting there. I would talk to friends. I'm pretty sure I even wrote about it where I was like, hey, TSM should go get Kabe. He should be their number 1 target. And sadly, the team obviously bombed in a pretty big way, to the tune of a 9-9 split, and I believe they finished 4th, if I remember correctly. Which was a little better than I thought they were going to after watching them for so long. But it was so sad. They just were they seemed so, discombobulated. They were all over the place. They'd have games where they looked like, world beaters, and then they'd have games where it looked like they had forgotten how to play League of Legends. And I think that watching the evolution of that team to the summer team that sure failed in Worlds, we don't have to dive into that. This is a talk show about TSM, not one where we crap on our team and talk bad. I mean, we'll be honest about them, but we don't have to dive into the not fun parts if we don't want to. So we've already done it, so no. But the summer team was great. I mean, seriously. And it's been a good year for TSM. We had our redemption arc. We were able to watch Bjergsen and Double Lift and Biofrost and Broken Blade. Miss that boy. All lift a trophy together. And that feeling, that playoff run, along with I'm a Cincinnati Reds fan for baseball as well, and they also made a run to the playoffs. They didn't make a run in playoffs. They got their butts handed to them. But it was a good year. The Bengals also drafted Joe Burrow. If you can't tell, I live near Cincinnati. So that was good. But the highlight of what was an awful year and something that I will never forget was the TSM playoff run. I remember sitting in my room, watching the games by myself most of the time. Sometimes I would talk to somebody on Discord, but I like watching the games most of the time. Not all the time, but most of the time by myself. And my family tries to get together every Sunday. We've basically quarantined together. It's just, like my immediate family, my aunt and uncle and their kids, and then my grandma and my cousin. So there's 10 of us. We basically have quarantined together / only seen each other outside of work for the last couple months. And they were upset that I was not coming over on Sundays to go see them because I was like, listen, I have to watch these games. I don't think you understand. This is momentous for me and for our team. And so, yeah, that was that has to be the highlight. I know, obviously, now Biofrost and Double Lift and Bjerg are retired, and sadly our beautiful, wonderful boy Broken Blade is over back in Europe with Schalke, which I am a big Schalke fan this year because of him. I hope they crush it. But we got another championship. After so much shit, after dealing with, C9 winning and Cloud9 and Team Liquid winning and TSM seemingly not being able to get over the hump. A 2-0 lead in the finals back in, I believe that was 2018. No, it might have been 2019. Yeah, it was 2019. and the team just not being able to figure itself out. Then the miracle run, and I mean, let's be honest, none of us saw them winning after the Golden Guardians series the first time, right? I mean, look deep inside yourself and think, man, did I really think they were going to win it all? I did not. I assumed that they would win their next series and maybe they would figure it out for Golden Guardians. But then they just kept winning. And there were just so many games where I'm like, oh no, it's over. Oh no, the run's over. It was a good run. So proud of these boys. And they just didn't give up. It was strange. It was almost like they knew it was over after this season. Bjerg certainly did, it seems like. Biofrost might have been thinking it. Doublelift probably not. It doesn't sound like it. But I don't know. I don't know how to describe it, guys. It was like almost an out of body experience when they won. Like I was screaming, and I'm a big fan, but I'm very level headed, I feel like, when it comes to my fandom, or I try to be. I used to not be. I've worked really hard on being that. But the pure joy that I felt when this team won, and I'm sure that you did too, was just something else. It was just something else. And so that's our year in review. TSM winning the LCS finals. The last one that we will likely ever see with Doublelift and Bjergsen and Biofrost playing together. I would actually pretty much guarantee we'll never see another one with those three players specifically. I doubt we'll ever see even a combination of the three of them ever again in a championship together. And now we flip the script, or I guess the page, to something totally new and just crazy. A team that is led by a man named Spica. with Bjergsen, obviously being there too. So yeah, it's a good year. Let's hope 2021 can be even slightly as epic. Or just good. I think we'll just take good. We'll talk about that in a couple weeks. So, some New Year's resolutions. We talked about it last week. Some New Year's resolutions for TSM. And the first one is one that you have heard from me over and over again. So I will keep this part short. But their first resolution needs to be patience. Being patient. And I'm talking about everybody on the team. Not just the, front office management group of, Andy and Parth. Bjergsen needs to be patient with himself. He's got to be patient with the players. He's been patient for teammates who were probably very infuriating to have on the team. He has been patient for a very long time to win that last championship, right? So he's not somebody who is going to be impatient with players or even with the, staff above him. But he needs to be patient with himself, and he needs to give himself a chance to figure it out, know that maybe he's not going to crush it in his first couple weeks. This lock-in tournament's going to be really, really, really good for him, as we talked about. But we also, need the players to be patient with themselves and with Bjerg. A lot of our season, I believe, truly hinges on how good Bjergsen is. And that's a lot of pressure. And I feel bad because, this is just it's the first year that all these 5 players are playing together. It's a pretty interesting mix when you think about it. There's a lot of unknowns, as we've talked about. And Bjergsen is the one who knows the way of TSM. He basically created it. And now he's got to pass it on. And the only one who knows any ounce of that is Spica. And so it's going to take time, and it needs to be patient all around. See, I kept that to like 60 seconds or so. My other New Year's resolution is for them to be willing to be open. And I think we have a lot of players who are, but I mean, like, to really be open about talking about how things are going when, we're watching TSM Legends, to be open to the fan base. And I think we as a fan base are doing well of bringing them all into feeling great, right? Jumping on PoE streams, Cody-san supporting Hooney now when there were questions at the beginning, right? Everybody is starting to feel more and more at home with this team. And I think that that's really, really important. And I hope that they will, in turn, be open with us and let us know how things are going and be talking to us about the team and be clear about what the expectations are. I mean, Andy already set it, apparently. And I do mean set the expectations in terms of he expects them to be able to perform at Worlds. So that means that, truthfully, obviously they want to win an LCS title again. But the ultimate goal is for this team to perform at Worlds. And they have players who have done so, right? Sure, we have Lost and Spica who are relatively young, and while Spica did have a good performance at Worlds in 2020 compared to the rest of his team, it was, I don't know, it doesn't matter. Him and Lost are still relatively inexperienced. He relatively, Lost definitely. But you surround them with Hooney, who's, won MSI, who has made Worlds multiple times and performed well at Worlds. You have PoE, who consistently performs well at Worlds. I want to remind you all, pretty much every time he goes to Worlds, everybody's like, oh, wow. Yeah, I forgot about that guy. That PoE guy is insane. And then you have Sword Art, who literally made it to a finals just this last year. So the expectations are high for this team. And it's going to be tough. I mean, you look at Cloud9, you look at Team Liquid. It's going to be tough. But the expectations have been set. And so we want to know, how things are going. Like, I really hope they don't just, and this is, I guess, technically part of patience, but, like, I really hope they don't try to make changes in the midseason this year. I want them to stick it out. Just play with the team. Unless if it is an absolute dumpster fire, play with the team and be open with the fan base about how things are looking, because they're going to have a break in between the split, but it's not like it was before. It's not like you get a total reset before. Their record from spring split's going to count. It's going to carry over into into the summer portion of the season. And so they're going to have to figure out, how do you play with your roster around that? When do you make changes? Do you make changes, right? And if they, I think their changes are mostly in-house. If they were going to change anything, it'd be, Cody-san and Hanser, who would be those changes. But because I can't imagine, I literally cannot imagine a world where Spica, Power of Evil, or Sword Art are not on this team come the end of the season, unless if something bad happens. And when I mean bad, I mean like true dumpster fire. They're just getting their butts handed to them, all that jazz. So, yeah, I want them to be open. I want us to have a better idea. I want us to know, what is it, at least get some sneak peeks. What does it look like with Bjergsen at the helm, right? How does this team operate a little bit differently? They normally do this with TSM Legends. They're pretty open, but they're losing a lot of the personalities that they normally have on there. There's no Broken Blade anymore. There's no Biofrost. There's no Double Lift. And they were normally the ones to kind of carry a lot of the conversation on it. So I hope the rest of these players are open to talking with us, to giving us better perspective, more than just in the required interview portions. I hope that they are able to have fun, and I hope that they're able to be, I don't know, open. Yeah. My last resolution is more of just like a, I don't know, a fun one. I've seen a lot of talk about this, and I don't know if it's necessarily a resolution, but I would really like for TSM to get some new merch too, fam. I like their merch. I do. I'm fine with it. I think that it exudes who they are of professionalism, right? They're the guys that go to a party and the tux, and everybody looks at them and they're like, damn, they got it together, right? And I think that that's fun, but at the same time, I want them to spread their wings a little bit. You know, Team Liquid partnering with Marvel was badass. I'm not going to lie to you. I got a TSM jersey for Christmas, or a TL jersey for Christmas, and it's the Captain America one because it looks awesome. I even got a Cloud9 one because of perks, specifically because he is in NA, and I want to have that momentous occasion. So, and their jerseys are cool too. And I like the TSM jerseys. I really do. I have one myself. I got a TSM sweatshirt and a TSM hat this year. I'm going to be repping TSM every weekend, all weekend long. But I'll be honest, their hat's a little underwhelming. No, I missed out on the old ones, the good ones, but still. I want to see them make a resolution this year to step it up in that way. You know, Hunter Thieves is doing it, FlyQuest is doing it, TL, C9. You know, a lot of the teams that are successful in building their fan bases, not that TSM needs that, but they've done so with the way that they do their merch and the way they do things. And I want TSM to do that. I want them to break the mold a little bit. You know, have some fun. Let Myth decide on some stuff, you know? I want to get some Hikaru chess stuff. That would be cool, wouldn't it? You know, like, I don't know if they have it. Do they have anything? I don't know. Let me see. I wonder if they even have a Hikaru jersey. Let's see. I don't think they do. I'm not seeing anything here. But yeah, you know, like, I'm looking at it right now even. And there's nothing wrong with black and white. I like the black and white personally. But there's just not a lot. There's just not a lot here. And so I want to see this team do more, be more, and get some new stuff. And I think everybody else would agree. So, with that, we head into the last section. Like I said, I'm going to try to keep this to 30 minutes. The last one is going to be one that should, starting in 2 weeks, be one that will become a regular segment, which will be the checking in with the team. I don't know. We got to come up with a name. If you think of a cool name, let me know. Let me know in the comments. Reach out. Everything. Let me know. So apparently everybody is there now. When I was talking to Cody's son, for some reason, he made it sound like they weren't going to be there till after the new year. Now, obviously, he didn't know for sure. And so maybe they changed it up, or, you know, maybe the players, maybe the team specifically just said that they wanted to be together on New Year's, which I love. You know, so far we've only really heard from the starting roster right now, right? We know Sword Art is in LA. We don't know really anything about where the academy team is at, but at least the main roster is in LA currently. I don't know if Bjergsen is, though. I haven't heard anything about that. I would assume if the rest of the team's there that he's there. I don't even know if he goes home or if he went home, I should say, for Christmas or for the holidays in general. But either way, they're there. They've been putting out some content. Apparently, PoE announced that Scrims started the other day, and apparently they are going well. Now, everybody needs to take this with a grain of salt. Remember, if Scrims are going badly, they're not going to tell us more than likely, okay? Like, why would they? They don't want to worry the fan base. They don't want other people knowing what's going on. They wouldn't tell us until later that Scrims are going poorly. Think about it. You know, we didn't hear that TSM Scrims were going poorly from anybody except for outside sources during Worlds. It's just how it is. So take the Scrim results, the Scrim Bucks, as they call them, with a grain of salt, okay? But it is good to know that they are already going well. I will give you that. It's better than not hearing anything at all. Not hearing that, hey, we started Scrims, and then, no. It sounds like, as well, that PoE is probably going to be the leader of this team. And I love that, because I don't know that he has been that necessarily for his other teams. I think he is buying in to TSM. We talked about it weeks ago, right? Where he was the player who's kind of been around different places. He's played for so many different teams, and he's never really stayed anywhere. And I'm wondering if, to get him to TSM, if they sat down with him and they were like, listen, we want you to be the guy. We want you to be the leader. We want you to be our star. And he's surrounded by good players, by the way. I mean, Sword Art's an absolute stud. We already know that. And Spica, I have a conversation that I think you guys will like about what I think about Spica, and I think we're going to be talking about it next week. But yeah, I'm almost certain that PoE is going to be their leader this year, and I think we're seeing that develop already. He's the one telling us about Scrims. He is the one who is playing with Huni. He's the one who's been playing with Spica. He's the one who's been playing everywhere, right? He's the one who's streaming. He's the one who's talking to the fans. He's the one who's tweeting out updates. He's the one right now who seemingly is taking a hold of that position. And I think he has to. When you look at it, I think he has to. Spica's still young, right? He's still newer. And, listen, he's still a fun, loving kid. I don't think he really wants to... He doesn't have the kind of serious personality, it seems, to be the leader, if need be, right? The one who people can rally around. I think he will eventually, but I don't think he has that yet. I think that Huni is still probably trying to figure out, what his position on the team is, so I don't see him leading this team, right? And Sword Art is still brand new. He speaks really good English, but I don't really see him being the leader. And Lost is new, So I think Power of Evil has to kind of be the leader, at least on the Rift. Maybe off, it can be Bjergsen, but he's never really been, super outspoken on social media or anything. So at least front-facing wise, we see it as PoE, the good old Power of Evil, leading this team right now. And so I'm excited to see that. Apparently he's also been practicing Zillion, which I find hilarious. And I love how Bjergsen, tweeted back the most coach or, dad-like answer of all time. He was like, oh, yeah, great to see you keep doing, keep working on it, and we'll be able to, show it on the stage. And it's just like, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I just think it's so freaking funny when he's just he doesn't have some fun or witty response. It's just all business with that man. And that's I think that's why this team is all business all the time. So we've got fun. We got the first picture of all of them sitting on the infamous TSM couch, where they do all of their reviews of games and stuff. So I don't know. I'm really excited. I was a little worried I wasn't going to be as excited for this season without Bjergsen. I really was, but they're starting to grab my heart a little bit already, and starting to really make me feel like this is going to be a fun and interesting year. So, yeah, that's your weekly update. If you think of a better name, like I said, let me know. Question of the week. Would you guys want to do a draft buff league this season with me? I would like to do a Talking TSM draft buff league. I believe maximum is going to be 10 players. So if you are interested in it, we'll need at least 6, no more than 10. So at least 5 more people to 9 more people can sign up. Please comment either on Reddit or in the YouTube video, or reach out any other way that you can find me and let me know that you would love to, or that if you would like to play. Because I would love for you guys to play. I would love to be in a fun league with you guys this year. So, I want to, this is still a talk show. I still want to be involved with you all. Sure, I am currently talking into the ether, and we see how things go. But I want to, just talk with you guys. I want to have fun. I want to update everybody on where we're standing in the draft buff league this year. So, if we do have a lot of interest, though, I will let you know next week who and how I'm going to decide. We'll probably try to do a draft by the Monday before the season starts, which would be the 11th. So, we will have this week and next week-ish to kind of go over stuff. If I, get into that range of 5 to 9 people exactly, then we'll just call it there, and we'll start working on trying to figure out a time of when to do it. For those of you who don't know, Draft Buff does all esports leagues similar to fantasy football. So this would be like Fantasy League of Legends. So if you guys are interested in doing one, please let me know. And hopefully we can have some fun this year. We'll fight over some TSM draft picks. And with that, if you like the show, please take a second to like, subscribe, and comment if you're watching on our YouTube channel. Make sure you hit that bell icon so you don't miss another episode. Also, as you all know, I want to make this the #1 TSM podcast on all podcasting platforms. So if you feel so inclined, please leave a review, especially if you're listening on Apple. I would very much appreciate it. And lastly, as always, please share this with your friends. You can find the official tweet if you're on Twitter, either on my account, @TGHRobertHaynes, where you guys can reach out, talk to me, message me. I have people who do it pretty much every week. Great conversations, lots of interesting ideas. Please feel free to do that. Or on the Gamehouse's Twitter account, @TGHEsports. Please use the hashtag TalkingTSM when tweeting at us or sharing. And with that, thank you for tuning in. This show comes out every Thursday and is exclusively for your TSM earholes. I'm Robert Haynes, and this has been Talking TSM. See you next week.